We're now joined by Greg Lukeman, who is the Executive Director of Food Outreach. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
It's a thrill to be here.
Good. So, for those who have not heard of Food Outreach, can you give us an overview and a little bit of a background?
My elevator speech, we are the principal meal provider for those folks living with HIV/AIDS or cancer. But a big part of our program is nutritional counseling.
Right. And that's really what sets you apart, I think.
Clearly from your traditional food assistance programs, food pantries, those types of programs, even Meals on Wheels. We have a registered dietitian on staff. She meets with every new client. Then really through the entire relationship, she meets with them at least every 6 months thereafter.
That's incredible. So can you talk a little bit about the difference that your focus on nutrition makes in the course of working with these patients and the illnesses that they're working with?
With our clients, both our HIV/AIDS and cancer clients, they're going through some pretty major treatments.
Right.
And we can use our food to make them more tolerable for the client. But also there's some medications that require certain foods in order to be effective. And those are foods that we can offer at Food Outreach.
Excellent.
And it's not just proper nutrition, but for some folks, they don't know anything about proper nutrition because most of our clients live at the federal poverty level. So they know how to supersize at McDonald's, but it's not a healthy meal, or they don't know anything about the food pyramid. And that's where we come in, and that's how we separate ourselves from other meal providers.
So you mentioned that your clients are below the poverty level. What are some of the requirements to be a candidate?
There is an income requirement. Anybody at 300% of poverty or below, so 300% is about $28,000 a year for a single individual.
Okay.
Anybody below that can access all of our programs. The frozen meal program, the grocery program, we do a congregate lunch program every Monday, and then certainly the nutritional counseling program. But anybody over that, over the 300%, can only access my dietitian or come to the Monday lunch. As we say, you can't take any food off premise, so they can't access the groceries or the frozen meals.
Excellent. And the nutrition information.
And then, clearly they have access to my dietitian and learn everything that they need to know to make their medications work like they should.
Excellent. So you guys just recently expanded to include cancer patients as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We did a strategic planning process probably 2 years ago from this point right now. And clearly we identified an unmet need to feed those folks and provide counseling for those folks trying to survive cancer. So the first year was a pilot phase with the Siteman Cancer Center. And then this last March, the board unanimously approved the expansion of our mission to feed those folks living with various cancers. And for right now, we're running about 80 folks that are living with various cancers, but clearly our focus will be HIV and AIDS, and will continue to be that.
Excellent. And I saw that you guys were recognized by the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS as one of the leading national organizations who are really doing this. That's great.
We are very fortunate. With our expansion, we were able to qualify for a particular grant initiative that they started for those agencies that started out in HIV and AIDS, but then now have expanded to other life-threatening diseases.
Wow.
And we were very fortunate. Of course, it's out of New York. That's how they raise their funds through various Broadway shows and all. But the executive director of that foundation called me specifically and said, we want you to apply. And we were very fortunate. It was the most money we've ever received from them.
Wow, that's incredible. So you guys really probably, though you've been focusing on HIV and AIDS for the majority of your existence, I'm sure there's a lot of crossover in the type of issues that you need to address and learning that you could take from serving one clientele to serving the next.
Well, it is an unmet need feeding those folks with cancer, but the nutritional needs do mirror one another. Muscle wasting is as prevalent for full-blown AIDS patients and also cancer clients. And we do specific tests to detect that earlier than if you look at somebody and think that they are, and the term is to waste.
Okay.
And then just the role that proper nutrition has, and just keeping the immune system intact, either with HIV/AIDS or cancer, is critical for either a speedy recovery or successful management of HIV/AIDS.
Wow. So I'm sure that, like most organizations, but especially this one, you really keep going based on the volunteers that come out and help you and the people that build relationships with you. I find it really cool that the organization started just from 7 friends, or from some friends getting together to feed 7 people, and it's really sort of snowballed from there. What are some of the ways that the community can get involved in supporting you?
There's a number of different ways. We are a volunteer-based organization. We have over 600 volunteers.
Wow.
And believe me, Nicole, they're active in every aspect of food outreach. We also do various food drives that church groups, school groups, even some corporate supporters do for us. In Grand Center, we're very fortunate throughout December. Some of the arts organizations through Grand Center are doing food drives for us.
Oh, great.
But clearly it is about money as well. It has been a struggle, even though we are feeding more folks. My federal funding, my HIV and AIDS federal funding, has been drastically reduced over the last 2 years. When you think about it, we used to get close to $500,000, and now we're down to $50,000. So we're being more aggressive. We're just trying to get the word out, and just for people to know that there's folks out there that are truly vulnerable and need proper nutrition in order to stay healthy.
Excellent. So what are some of the events coming up in the near future that people can...
In December, the Sheldon is doing a concert with Aaron Neville, and I think there may be a few tickets left.
Okay.
But we're asking ticket goers and people that are going to be going to that concert to bring a canned good for food outreach.
Okay.
And then on the tail ends of that, the Symphony, all through their holiday series, are doing canned food drives for us as well. And then Jazz St. Louis, I think it's December 13th and 14th, they have a well-known saxophonist, Herbert Person, that's going to be doing a concert there. And then with those canned goods that people bring in, they qualify for a half-price ticket for those performances.
Great.
But also the Contemporary Art Museum, in honor of World AIDS Day, it did start on December 1st. That is when World AIDS Day is.
Right.
And then through this coming for a few more days, they're going to be donating the admission price to food outreach.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's good to hear that you guys are active in the community, keeping people engaged, and that also organizations and businesses in the community are supporting you.
Well, and we are very fortunate of the community support, but clearly in every nonprofit that I've talked to, these times are challenging times, and we certainly feel that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you would like more information or find out how you can volunteer or help out, you can visit foodoutreach.org.